So what I'm doing is very risque. I have my camera hanging at the edge. It could fall at any time, but hey, what is life without risk, right? So yeah, let's just hope it doesn't fall, because girl child, I just prepared this camera last year. I don't think I'm ready to pay that anymore, because that made me baroque. I don't think I've ever made that money back. Anyways, oh guys, I miss you all. It's been a hot minute. I really do miss you. Hi, speaking from Berlin. For those that are new here, hi, my name is Gertrude Darko. I am actually originally from the Netherlands. I don't know how to say that word slowly, like the Netherlands. I just feel like I'm just going to make a mistake, so I just say it so fast. Anyways, hi, I am Gertrude Darko from the Netherlands. So I'm a travel vlogger. I like to try new stuff, and yeah, I am currently filming from Berlin. I am here on 6 months, well 5 months paid internship at a hostel. I will talk about that more in another video, but today I want to really share with you guys the cultural shock I have experienced in Berlin as a girl from a very small tiny town in the southern part of Holland, or the Netherlands, Limburg. Okay, so let's get into it. I don't even know, it's just gonna be random. I don't have anything scripted or written down. I'm just gonna just randomly do it, and I might forget stuff, but it's okay. I'm just gonna talk about the major ones that I've said. And yeah, number one, Berlin is crazy. Berlin is big, lively, crazy nightlife. And you have to really stand your ground, or else you'll be pulled towards every moving crowd, because you'll be like, oh my god, I want to try this. Oh my god, you end up doing stuff. Yeah, you will try stuff, which is good, but you might regret a lot of stuff you try. I can tell you that for free. Honestly, I can tell you that for free. So you should really know what you really want and what you don't want, because you're probably gonna be coerced into trying drugs. So yeah, because in order for people to have that crazy nightlife, you have to be crazy. And on a regular, most people aren't crazy, like not really crazy and hyper and loud. You know, they need some assistance, and some people do opt for alcohol, but others choose to do it the hard way, drugs. And so yeah, that is also a really beautiful nightlife, especially for me. I live in the middle of the city. That's where I work and live, and so it's crazy. It's always the city is always alive, 247. Yeah, well, there are times where it's quiet, so around midnight, around maybe 2 to 5 p.m. it's kind of quiet-ish, because all the people are partying in indoor clubs, and so it's quiet on the streets. But there are still people walking around, and there are still a couple of shops open throughout the night. Yeah, number two, I would say Berlin has a lot of museums. Crazy, so many, there's so many to pick and choose from. You probably don't know what to do, and so I would advise, if you're coming to Berlin, you actually make an itinerary of things you want to see, because if you're thinking, oh, I'm just gonna go with the flow when I come here, trust me, there are so many things to do and to see and to eat. You are gonna get confused. It's good to be spontaneous, but you're gonna get really confused. Oh no, I broke my nail, I chipped my nail. I know you can say, yeah, mom. Anyways, back to the video. So yeah, Berlin has so many museums, from contemporary art to war museums and just random stuff. Some I have an idea what they are, some I know the history, some I just don't know. But try and enjoy it. Most museums are free on the first Sunday of every month, so you can go walk in for free, but any other day you have to pay. Some are relatively cheap, others are expensive, so choice is yours. Number three, something that really shocked me really, really shocked me. I feel like I should have put it at number 1. But anyways, Berlin is cheap. Yeah, you heard me. Berlin is cheap, relatively cheap. As a tourist, I mean, if you're here as a tourist, probably like cheap. I don't know for who is cheap, but Berlin is cheap. Okay, for a big city, for like a big city like Berlin, and also a capital of a country. Is Berlin a capital of Germany? I think so, right? I think so. So for a big city and a capital of a country, it's relatively cheap. Now note, I'm not saying rent and stuff is cheap, because people here complain about it, but oh, they should see in the Netherlands. I'm sure they would probably be very grateful, because people pay like 600 euros for, I don't know, for like an apartment, and you're like, oh, it's so expensive. I'm like, it's Berlin. Like in Amsterdam, you probably pay like 1,000 euros plus a month without like the electricity, water, and other bills. It's just rent in an unfinished apartment. So be grateful. So I think Berlin is really relatively cheap. Cosmetics are cheap. So yesterday I got like this small roll-on for 60 euros, which I know if it was in the Netherlands it would probably be selling for €1.50. So I feel like that is a very big deal. For I think that is one thing that Germany is doing so good that I'm highly impressed. Things are cheap, you know, and even transportation is relatively low. Like even with the train, it's so low, but people still ride on it for free. Like other transports, even though they have like a paying system, nobody pays. Now I'm not saying you should do that, because that is illegal. Try and be a good citizen. I know I'm talking to myself, but yeah, you know, you can use like the tram, the subway, the buses, and everything, quote unquote, for free. It's not free, but you know, in the Netherlands there are like regular inspections in the train, in the buses. In the buses I don't think so, but in the bus you have to like scan your bus card or buy a ticket, or you can't use the bus, you can't use the tram. So everything you have to buy a card or a ticket, or you can't access it, right? And with the trains there's like constant checking and fouilleing and all of that. But with Berlin, you can literally use everything. You can just tap in it, and nobody's gonna ask you like, where's your ticket and stuff like that. But I would advise you have a ticket, because you don't know. One day for the master. One day for the master. So please, if you are going to ever visit Berlin or any German city, or buy a ticket. Okay, buy a ticket for the transport. It's just be good. And also, like, yeah, what else? Oof, this is one thing I might like trigger some people, but hey, I have to say it anyways. It's stinky. It's just like any big city. It smells like death sometimes. Like there's this whiff of very annoying smell that just lingers around for a couple of minutes, and I don't know, it smells like death. It's just like any big city. It smells awful. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the sewage, I don't know if it's the buildings, I don't know what it is, but it's so bad. Like it could stay for so many minutes and leave you frustrated. I'm like, yo, it smells like rotten air, like a rotten decomposed body. It's like sewage. I don't really know what it is, but it smells. So put that in mind. And it can also be very dirty, but I feel like that is also like something relative to big cities. But not in Berlin, not everywhere is dirty, so they have a particular place or places that are dirty. Yeah, but majority of the city looks clean, it's neat, pretty organized. And I feel like Germany, or at least I can't speak for the whole of Germany, but I can speak for Berlin. I've also noticed that it's easier to navigate like the transport systems and read boards, even if you are not German. And so I think that is really good. I was in Paris one time and I still couldn't get a hang of the travel system, but I was in Berlin. I'm in Berlin for like 3 weeks now, and I already know how to use all the transport systems and how to figure my way out, even in places where I've never been before. I know how to find my way around the place. I use Google as an assistant, and obviously when I see the board, I know, okay, this exit goes here, this exit. It's really well labeled, and so that is something that is really, really good. We don't have that in the Netherlands. It's just one big board, and then you try and figure it out. You have to walk in circles. But here, you know exactly what exit is, onto what street which exit is going to lead you to, if it makes sense. I feel like that is really good. Another thing is that Berlin is super much multicultural. Yeah, super multicultural, and I like it. It's just like any big city, but I feel like here it's even hard to spot like a German, even though there are Germans involved and in the mix. Majority of the people living in Berlin are foreigners, or they have like, or they are like third, second, fourth generations, if it makes sense. So a lot of Turkish people, Moroccans, a lot of Indians, a lot of black people, a lot of Americans, a lot of foreigners, basically. Everything but Germans. Well, they are Germans, but very few. Even the shops and everything, mostly foreigners, and that is really cool. Another thing I like about Berlin, not Germany, Berlin, is that there are a lot of events. Like every day is a party. There's party on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like every day of the week there is party or something to do. Like there's an event, and they're mostly free. And one of my favorites would be like comedy shows. Yeah, although they are free, you have to like leave a tip, probably between 10 and 15 euros. But I went to one comedy show and it was really worth the 10 euros tip that I gave that day. So yeah, I'm broke, don't look at me that way. If I had more I would give. Okay, another thing I find disappointing about Berlin is the fact that the Germans refuse to speak English. Even if they clearly can and understand, they expect you to speak German. And I'm like, my German is so terrible. I mean, I'm not using that as an excuse. It's not an excuse to not speak German, but I feel like they could cut us some slack, you know, because I genuinely want to learn German. But if you force me to learn it this way, how will I learn it? Because it is going to be a traumatic experience. So twice in the doctor's office, even though they could speak a little bit of English, they prefer to speak in German and be rude. I feel like that's where I have a problem. If you don't want to speak in English, it's fine. Or if you feel like you're not confident about your English, it's 100% valid. But being rude about it, they can be really rude. And German, the language German in itself sounds harsh. For those that don't know, even, I mean, some people might not admit, but German as a language sounds very, very harsh in itself. So for you to exert more pressure and be like, that's a little bit intimidating. And they just have zero patience. Germans, or at least the ones that I've met in working positions or in, yeah, so those working at like shops, and it's not even the young people, trust me, the young people, they understand like it's multicultural, so they need to speak English. But it's mostly the older people, you know, it's mostly the older people, and they'll go like, Weiss nicht, and I'm like, excuse me, you are taking my money, so you should be nice. Some way, somehow, my money contributes to your pay, so be nice to me. So that's one thing I find very disappointing and disheartening, because Germans that I've met back in the Netherlands are very, very friendly. In fact, when I was doing my internship in Zeeland, which I will talk about all my internship experience in another video, the people or the guests that I met that were most accommodating and understanding were Germans, and they were the ones that also left most tips. Okay, I made like a lot of tips from the German guests, so I don't understand how they are friendly when they are out of their country. I don't know if it's oh, I'm in my country thing, you know. Sometimes you feel proud and big and pompous if you are in a country where you're like, oh, it's my country, you know. I mean, obviously from in Ghana too, I'll feel proud and pompous, but you know, Ghanaians are generally friendly. So I was kind of expecting that, and I've lived in the Netherlands for 7 years now and counting. And well, back then it wasn't really the Dutchies weren't really open and friendly, but 7 years down the line, they are more open and accommodating, and it's shocking and very surprising that Dutchies even speak much more English than Dutch, especially in big cities. So for a big city like this, where you're working in a place where you're going to get a lot of international customers, I'm expecting them to speak a little bit of English, and trust me, they do speak English and they do understand. They just want to force the German out of you, and when they realize that you genuinely can't speak it, they start to speak English, but then they are harsh. They're like, you don't have this. So I'm just going to tell you like a short experience. Right, so I went to this clinic because I was having pains, I think, in my arm, and so I went to the clinic and I was referred to another clinic to get a scan. And I got there and the man was like, he said something I didn't understand. I was like, yeah, here's my card, here's my ID, whatever, all of it, here you go, my health insurance, my ID. And he went like, he said something in German. I was like, could you please say it in English? Because first of all, I do understand German, but whereby you are speaking slowly so that I can grasp and pick on the words, so my mind can process it, because German is not my first language. It is something I'm learning in school, and I'm at literally A1 level or A2, I think A1. So that's the German I'm learning, A1 level. So it's not really that deep German, it's like basic German, you know. And so yeah, even though I do try my best, you need to like slow down for me. And he was like, yeah, you don't have an EU health insurance. And I was like, yes I do, I just gave you. It's like, no it's not. I was like, turn it around. So he did turn it around. He realized it was an EU health insurance, but he had already been so rude to me. And he was like, fine, sign here. And it's like, you need to have patience. I feel like German people don't have patience. That is one thing I realized, especially the people working. It's not everybody working on the street, no. It is mostly the people working in offices, or working as cashiers, or working in the pharmacies. People in the health sector for some reason. The people in the health sector for some reason, they are so impatient. I don't know why. Maybe it's the workload. Maybe they are just tired. I just don't know. But I feel they need to calm down. For some of us, because honestly, to be sick and be treated like that, I didn't like the experience at all. Another funny thing, I don't know if it's a cultural shock, but it's a funny thing actually, is that Germans, I feel like they are weird in a way. So you bring a German on the street, they look like this. You greet them, they go like hello, and they go back to. I find it really funny, honestly. I find it really funny. I don't understand the whole. I don't know why they need to look so serious, honestly. But they are really sweet, trust me. I've met really cool German people. Have I? I don't know. But I've met friendly German people. Like some people, I'm like, excuse me. I started speaking English and they reply English. So I feel like they're nice. So I'm gonna cut some slack for those people. But I feel like people who work in the apotheker, okay, people who work in the apotheker, in the clinics, they need to chill. They need a chill pill, okay. What else? Oh yeah, so Berlin Berlin can be very bad influence as well, honestly. I came to Berlin and I'm contemplating getting a tattoo or a second piercing. I mean, I don't want to do it, but I want to do it. And it's a place where people can be free and express themselves, and it's okay if you want to express yourself in any way you want to, but be careful, because it's easier to find sex in Berlin as well. It's not a cultural shock thing. Yeah, you have to be careful. It's like, and there are so many variety and options to choose from. If you don't take care, you might go on a spree, and it's not the best. Trust me. Like, Berlin is just a city of express yourself. I feel like that they should just usually, like, literally use that, express yourself. And people feel like expressing themselves has to be sexually. I don't know. Like, most people feel like, oh, I need to be sexual to express myself. And there are a lot of avenues for that. A lot of clubs that are kinky clubs, erotic clubs. If you want to go that direction, there are so many options. So if you're somebody who wants to express yourself that way, do you. But if you're somebody that you're not looking forward to, if you don't take care, you might fall in that trap. So you need to be careful as well. I don't think it's a cultural shock, is it? I don't know. What else? Berlin is really beautiful. Honestly, it's really intriguing, very beautiful. You should visit Berlin one day. Honestly, it's and there's free tuition. Like when I heard it, I was like, and I realized it wasn't even only Berlin. It's like the entire Germany. Free tuition. Oh, I'm gonna make use of that. I am gonna make very good use of that. Okay. Also, the dating pool is crazy. Like, I don't know. Berlin has a very dating crazy pool. Berlin has a very crazy dating pool, is what I meant to say. I've asked a couple of people. Me personally, I haven't really jumped into the dating scene, but I've spoken to a couple of Afro-Germans or Africans based in Berlin, and it could get dicey. You know, the dating pool here is something else. You have to be in for the short term, be in for the fun, or you are in for 7 years deep with babies before you get engaged. And girl, oh, one thing I don't want nobody to do to me is make me a mother before they make me a wife. And so that is definitely an option for me. If it's for you, I support you 100%. Trust me, I do. But I feel like the dating pool is crazy. It is nothing for me. I just don't have the heart, the capacity, the energy for it. But yeah, I just can't do free casual sex every single time of the day, every night for 7 years straight with babies before I get engaged. I mean, come on. If it's good, you know it's good from the start. Just if you're not, the dating pool here in Berlin is for the strong. So if you're weak, skip it, is all I'm going to say. I think that is all I have for you guys today. I really don't remember anymore. That is all I have. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did stick to the end, thank you. Please kindly subscribe to my channel, share it with other people, like and leave a lovely comment. I know you do miss me, and I miss you all, and I'm gonna come back with full force. I'm still vlogging, I'm still putting together awesome content for you lovely people out there. So keep on supporting me by subscribing to my channel. And if you're new here, hi bestie, hi, you're welcome. Hope you stick and stay. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Before I go, remember to be you, do you know your worth, live life, and do the finest things in life. Love God and live for space, and I'll definitely see you in my next one. Ciao babies.